It all started when Andrew wrote my name down on the ledger and led me to the supply room. Boots, khaki uniform, an ammo belt with 3 rounds, and a shiny Russian Kalashnikov. Its 11 centimeters barrel sawn off. So, I became, in the summer of 1981, a member of the Lebanese forces in Beirut. My salary was 600 Lebanese pounds. My first mission? We climbed onto the roof of the Dar Hadassah building in Verdun Street. Suddenly, we saw a car speeding down Verdun Street, occupants shooting at us. We showered them with bullets and shot 2 missiles from my B-7. We turned them into a burning lump of metal and flesh. We tied white headbands around our heads for identification, but also to set ourselves apart. Half an hour later, received orders to join the group gathering near Hamna Street. My hands were cold and sweaty, my mouth dry, my jaw trembling, my ears ringing and my eyes burning. Noor was comforting. She told me to stay behind her. I saw Sapphire running and pointing her machine gun to a man who was staggering and wounded. She emptied the entire weapon, 30 rounds in one go. She threw the spent cartridge down, slugging another. She leaned against the wall, threw a grenade into the entrance. She uttered to me, "You idiot!" I ducked. The grenade exploded. I ran and began shooting, my mind incapable of processing what my eyes were seeing. A thick fog, almost mythical, blinded me. I tripped over a corpse. Ow, caught up, my knees aching. Bullets were raining down on us from the upper floors of the building. I could hear the screams of one family, or maybe more than one. After the fight, I went home that day. My mother saw me splattered with dust and blood. I slept a lot. I slept shivering from the cold. I slept drowning in sweat. The next day, I sat for my Beverly exam at the Lucia Abdul Qadar School on June 4th, 1982. There my classmates and I heard the sounds of 4 planes and very loud explosions. The next day, I didn't go to the exam. Instead, I spent the entire day at the Verdun Street base. We were cleaning our weapons, readying ourselves, smoking too much and drinking large pots of tea. We got into the car, bombs exploded all around us, flak ricocheting on our cars into walls, balconies behind us and in front of us, buildings ablaze, ceaseless mounds of rubble filled the streets, electricity cables dangled like fantastical worms. As we drove at a mad speed, we glimpsed a few civilians in the emptiness to near half-open shops. We saw a wreck of an ambulance car, an overturned civilian's car, blood staining its doors. Another car split in half. More planes hovered the sky that made a roaring sound that painted our spinal cords. "40 days had passed since the Israeli invasion in Lebanon, and I couldn't remember the last time I had taken a shower. Plenty of dust and sand had covered me during my shifts at the cannon, which, with every shot fired, would hurl all the earth around us as from a giant blower. Now, when I remember myself, I would regard the neglect of my personal hygiene a part of my demeanour as a fighter, additional evidence to my commitment to the war. That filth was the unconscious expression to earn recognition from all the guys, my seniors, who saw me as a girl and referred to me as that cub. We got to Khadbia. Echoes of the fierce fighting reached into our nervous system. The scene was inhuman. To the entryway to the Mohad market, we felt we were at the gates of hell. Vast destruction, rubble. Men advanced to the front on both sides of the streets, their backs hunched from all the ammo they carried. Not a single breath of fresh air, only dust and the smell of gunpowder. Through a breach in a wall, we entered a building and turned it into a meeting point for logistical support. As I stood, I watched the cannons going off in the middle of the street, exploding powerfully. various sizes blowing up above me, in front of me, and behind me. Balconies collapsing only a few meters away. The weight of the entire defence line was now focused on us. They bombarded us with 300 mils and 57 mil motor shells, exploding above our heads and between our legs. We tried to reach the building ahead, but we hit one of their barricades. It was reinforced on the upper floors and on the ground floors. An RPG combed the entire distance that separated us from them. In unison, we fired all our ammo. A bomb exploded less than 5 meters away. Crouched, frozen. I looked behind me and saw Noor with her hands on her stomach, blood gushing out. She frowned in silence. My eyes were wide open. They watched, but my brain couldn't see. A thick haze shrouded my sight, and there I was bold, shooting bullets like a madman. I ran and ran, exhausting all my ammo. I leaned against a nearby abandoned building, 3 of my comrades beside me. Another was barricaded along at the front. As I grabbed for more ammo, I decided to rest for a minute or two. Hundreds of shells were exchanged without respite. It was impossible to count the mass of guns firing at that instant. And we were right in the middle of it. We were on the main Steffo Road, facing a block of buildings, and to my left, the Mulan gas station. A family emerged out of the darkness, their heads peering out of the shelter. The guys finally arrived. There were moments of calm. Barely enough time to spread out. Hours later, they mobilized us. It was dawn and we had not slept. The shelling started again.